for me, I think it's trying to figure out the experience, right? So I don't think a lot of people still like to go in a grocery store because they need to see what they
compare
getting.
tomatoes.
I want to see my meat,
right?
You need to see. I need to see my meat.
You got to see your meat. I get it. Hey,
and the veg, these tomatoes, the melons, these are nice. Come on.
welcome everyone to T Minus, presented by 321. I'm your host, Daniel Melick.
John Janis.
Carrie Sobel.
Jeff Malchek. So, guys, did you hear that Amazon bought Whole Foods?
I think everybody heard that Amazon bought Whole Foods.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for my one stock I have.
Your one stock?
Yeah,
I've got one Amazon stock.
Why?
One single stock.
Why do you
One
have
single
one
stock.
Amazon stock?
Because I thought it'd be a good time to buy. That's all I could afford.
Right now. When did you buy it?
Like last week.
Like 90. That's probably the worst time to buy it.
One chair.
It's only going to go up.
It
go
is
up.
true.
That's right.
It is only going to go up.
Can we talk about why it's going to go up?
Yeah, I want to hear it. Why?
Yeah. So this really isn't news to anyone here anyway, but the reason why Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods is so exciting is because the implementation of their Amazon Go technology. So Amazon Go technology is that patent that they filed last year, which essentially uses a combination of video and geolocation targeting devices to
RFID,
stuff like that to track users as they enter a grocery store, walk through, grab their items, put in the cart, and create a no checkout experience so you can just take your items and leave the store. So pretty cool, right?
It's incredible is what it is.
Yeah.
But here's the question. Will people over the age of 35 to 40 use that?
That's a good
Yes.
question. I think
would
so.
use it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're like
I'm old.
you're
You
like
actually
80.
are old, so
Yeah.
So would you use it?
I think so. I think if it's in the right setting and like if they have it in Whole Foods, I'd definitely try it out to see if it would work.
Mm-hmm.
Is there? I'm not sure if there's like a subscription. I doubt there's a subscription.
It's supposed to tie to your Amazon account.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk in, you place your items in your grocery cart, you walk out of the store, and bang, you're charged for the items that are in your cart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd love to see it working because I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of issues. Mind you, they'll probably fix them, but it's just kind of mind-blowing to think that that's the way things are going to be,
Well,
right?
yeah.
We're eliminating jobs.
Well, it's smart too that they picked Whole Foods because that's probably the best demo to do it. One is because no one really cares about price point in Whole Foods. Like you don't shop there because it's cost efficient,
Right.
And so the culture there already makes sense. And that by doing that, you're actually making Whole Foods as a very small market or supermarket, like when it comes to stock, when it comes to market share, whatever it is,
Location.
as a test hub in every single city, every single affluent part of a city, and saying, does this start working so we can figure out how to fix those bugs, fix those issues, and integrate that patent into a Target, into a Walmart, into a Kroger, Acme, so forth and so forth. I think it's progression. It's 5-10 years down the line, but
I think it's a little bit closer than 5 or 10 years.
well, I mean, behavior from a scalable level, not when it comes to every single grocery store having it, even a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a while down because that behavior is very hard to digest at first.
Oh, most definitely. The purchase of Whole Foods definitely is essentially acting as a proof of their Amazon Go system on a national scale. So, this isn't about Amazon taking over grocery stores all over the world. This is about using a case study example for Amazon Web Services, for Amazon Go. So they can essentially resell these to the Walmarts of the world.
Right, it's a patent play. It's the
Do you think
smartest
they
thing
will,
to do.
though?
You're not trying to
think
take
they will?
over.
Do you think they will?
As opposed to staying exclusive?
Do you think Amazon would be like, let's trump out all these other grocery stores with our stuff that we're doing, the Amazon Go product? Like, if they implement that in every store, like, how is it going to be utilized properly as opposed to if they were just to buy a Whole Foods that had this product in it, build more Whole Foods, buy up another store like JCPenney's
Because
or something.
it's a smarter play to own the patent and the market share rather than try to take out larger conglomerates.
So I actually shared this post talking about Amazon purchasing Whole Foods, and it's funny because I wrote a blog post before how I talked about how Google's the most powerful company in the world. And after I shared the post, somebody commented and said, so now is Amazon the most powerful company in the world?
I would say that they are both giants within their own right.
But Amazon is talking about consumer behavior and purchasing and e-commerce, right? And Google while they have products, it's mostly information. So you talk about information is power. You talk about the government, being powerful because they know so much. Google knows where you traveled, what you searched, demographics, interests, what you purchased. They have more information about you than the government. So are they not the most powerful company in the world?
For Google, yes. I 100% agree with you because I think information is and data is everything. But when it comes to kind of their lanes and what they do, Amazon is innovating, and it's a 20-year-old company. 1994 is when they started.
Wow.
Compared to Google
Amazon.
starting when?
Probably around the same time. So these two massive giants are 20 years old. That's mind-blowing of how big of companies they are and how disruptive they're becoming in their spaces. Amazon is taking over retail and grocery and even shipping. They changed shipment when they introduced Prime. Think about that. FedEx, UPS, even the post office.
Oh, it used to be the biggest hurdle to buying online.
Right. And now Target and Walmart both had to change their shipping models to be two-day free shipping on all products. Do you know how long it used to take if you bought something at Target to get it? It used to take a week. Now they're we have to compete. They're actually pushing that model. So when it comes to that space, they're dominating that space. When it comes to Google, and they're kind of they are the best at data collection, information, algorithms, trying to figure out how to disrupt multiple spaces to pull data. I think that's where their niche is. Niche, I guess. It's not really a niche, but that's where their space is. But when it comes to straight consumer, e-commerce, retail, that's the dominance of Amazon. It's funny because we all used Amazon probably 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
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 But in probably the last 3 to 4 years, it went from here to here.
Yeah.
And now it's even going further up.
I'd say for the last, maybe 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Amazon Prime changed the game
weekly.
for how people consume, how people react with e-commerce and retail, right? I think that it's they understood that shift and they finally pulled that trigger, and it's killing a lot of businesses, to be honest.
As they take over retail, they're becoming also a real estate company because the areas that aren't serviced as quick, where Amazon Prime doesn't exist, they're just dropping 100,000 square foot warehouses so they can serve. So, here in Orlando, they just built one in Lake Nona. And funny enough, I'm not sure if you guys heard what they're doing on UCF campus. They actually created a hub, a shipping hub, an Amazon hub, the first collegiate Amazon hub on UCF campus, which is the second largest school in the United States, so that they can ship from their warehouses straight to the hub instead of dealing with all the PO boxes and whatnot on the dormitory. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool that it's at UCF and here in Orlando, but just the general concept of it is crazy. So they're dropping these warehouses everywhere. They're now on college campuses. What's next? What's next for them? It's probably a real estate move because their business is already solidified, right? What they're doing is it's there. They can only make enhancements to it.
Well, I think it's if they were that strategic and targeted, that's the most brilliant thing ever, right? Think about that. We're going to kill retail, which puts commercial out of business. Then we're going to buy that commercial property, all those commercial properties that we put out of business.
Every single commercial building will be a Amazon warehouse.
I'm just
a little
saying,
bit draconian,
it's
don't
not,
you think?
Well, I'm just saying, though. It's not. Well, if you really think about that, that's ingenious in so many ways.
I agree, but I also think that Amazon does see the big picture that that Amazon isn't going to replace the Walmarts of the world and stuff like that. Their best chance for survival is essentially taking this business model, proving that it works, and showing and essentially reselling all that to all these other giants out there.
Agreed. I think the patent is what's going to boost kind of the behavior rather than trying to take over. Right.
And it will crush the smaller brands.
Right.
So somebody like a Walmart, a Target, they can stay in business because they can, Amazon will partner up with them, sell their licensing to them.
Correct.
Whether it's a powered by Amazon type of relationship or they just make the money.
Yeah, like like the Amazon pays like a PayPal. All right, well, every time you walk in and out, we're going to get a piece of the pie.
Yep.
But that's interesting though, because now their online retailers are competing with each other, right? So you shopping on Target and you shopping on Amazon, same products. They're still competing with each other, but now everything in store goes to Amazon's pockets.
It's brand loyalty at that point, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's a very weird time, to be honest with you. Like, it could be where Amazon just crushes a lot of retail.
I'm seeing flying cars going up and down the streets, and every building that they're passing is an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Fuel up on Amazon gas.
Amazon grocery, Amazon gas, CVS and Walgreens, you're gone. Pharmacy. Who wants to go talk to a pharmacist?
That's true. Nobody. Now they can just call somebody up. My doctor, Give them a call
Telehealth.
on your phone.
Telehealth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. Where does this end? Like, this.
It does it. That's technology, though, right? When we always talk about this, how technology evolves and always does, is because we always try to disrupt behavior, and that's never going to end, right? And from the beginning of time, we didn't stop at a stone wheel. You know what I mean? We always are evolving it. Same idea with anything we do. We evolve the technology, so it's never going to end. It just becomes very disruptive to certain industries, to certain jobs, to certain behaviors that we have. Like, my wife is just like, I can't fathom not having retail anymore. Like, she can't picture, like, there's no malls anymore. Right. You can't go into a store and shop anymore.
Everywhere. Like he was saying.
Does she like the process of going in? And
that's the thing. I was just like, you complain about the mall more than a lot of other people because you're like, I got to deal with people. I got to deal with customer service. I got to deal with, getting the kids in and out, yada, yada, yada. But it's the experience. I'm like, if you can take that experience and make it streamlined, i.e. virtual reality.
Well, that's a whole other.
It is, but I'm just saying. But I'm just saying though. That's what I'm saying is the disruptive behavior of even the experience is becoming more internal.
I don't think it's going to be as disruptive because let's just imagine that like the Mall Millennia over there has Amazon Go in all the stores. So all those things that your wife were complaining about, having to deal with people, having to deal with crowds, having to deal with customer service, having to stand in line, having to check out, none of those are an issue anymore. It's you walk in, do you have my size? Thank you.
And you know what was an issue when you turn to e-commerce for things like that is returns. Mm-hmm. Now, all of these online places are sending you a
shipping label.
Push it in here or drop it in here and go drop it off in a box somewhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, I buy a lot of my clothing now online because of that convenience factor. A big brand is Guilt. I mean, I buy stuff on there all the time, knowing I probably won't like it, knowing that I can just return it back without any hassle. In fact, I was at the post office this morning dropping off a box. It's kind of scary that it does take away from some experience, but I think convenience is outweighing experience nowadays, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. But how does, it's kind of relaying back. So how does this affect our jobs?
I mean,
in the industry.
Directly.
Absolutely.
In every way, shape, and form.
So one of the big things we've been pushing to a lot of our clients recently, especially ones with brick and mortar locations, is Facebook's check-in conversion metrics. So this idea that we can serve an ad to you on Facebook and have you either click the ad or not, and eventually you make your way to the store and your phone's location matching up with the store's location just counts as an in-store conversion. So it's this proof that online messaging is having a real-world physical effect. So the way I see this really affecting the future is this new whole identity of digital advertising and in-store return on investment, ROI, for their marketing campaigns. So you just imagine an Amazon ad network that is serving you ads that we can then essentially track and see the exact user, the device that they're logged in on, as they see the ad, go to the store, and put stuff in their cart and check out.
What they
Now you
buy,
have
how much
all
they
that
bought,
data.
what time they bought.
Exactly.
Right.
What they put in their cart and took out even.
That's
like
true.
now you're having this complete holistic view on a digital level of someone's actual in-store activity. That is phenomenal. We were only really able to get that in the past couple of years with e-commerce, and even then it's still kind of hit and miss. Did they get to the checkout step? Did they put in their contact information? Can we send abandoned cart emails? But having this potentially, affect our job and affect how we measure performance on our campaign, measure performance for our campaigns on brick and mortar stores. It's amazing.
So you're saying what we do now for e-commerce, we can take that same data now and apply it to brick and mortar because they're tracking exactly the same things we're tracking on e-commerce when it comes to the user path, what they're doing, where they're dropping off.
But that only stays relevant while brick and
Brick and
mortar
mortar
still
still
exists. So we have a temporary area where we can make a lot of money with the brick and mortar because not a lot of people can show that type of continuity between an online advertisement and a brick and mortar store. So it's an awesome tactic. It's something we're suggesting a lot. But when brick and mortar goes away, because we talked about retail dying, then they're looking directly to us and directly to digital agencies because it's all an online experience, and somebody has to direct that experience.
I mean, I don't think brick and mortar is going to be disappearing that soon.
No,
I think the experience, like I told you, I think the experience changes. That's how I feel. I don't think, obviously, a lot of retail will die just because they didn't catch up with technology and they're kind of reluctant to. So if they didn't catch up 5-10 years ago, then that's why they're dying now, right? Because they couldn't keep up with trends to help solidify themselves in the top tier to kind of hold steady for a little bit. But I think the experience changes. Like I was telling you, I feel that, for instance, if you went into Foot Locker, now it's more trying on your size, order it, and it'll automatically be at your house by the time you get home. You don't have to carry anything. You don't have to purchase anything. You walk out, it's ordered, you know what size, you know what fits you, because that's kind of the thing, right? And you're still getting the experience of holding, touching,
I got the perfect
retail,
example on that. I got a
right?
perfect example on that. So this weekend, I'm in Chicago with my family, and my brother-in-law lives in this neighborhood that has a lot of shopping. So I'm going on a trip to Europe, and I wanted a new pair of shoes, and so did my wife. And we said we wanted Toms, and there was a Tom store right there. So we didn't know we wanted Toms. We saw the Tom store. We ended up wanting Toms. We walked in. We both tried on our shoes. We found our size. We found the style we wanted, and realized, wow, we really don't want to take this on the plane back with us. We had a carry-on. There's a little iPad in there. We punched in both of our sizes based on what we just tried on, click ship, and purchased it, swiped my card, didn't even talk to a person other than getting the shoes, pulled out my receipt, and the shoes are supposed to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I still had the experience. I still tried
Correct.
on the
That's what I'm
shoes. I
saying.
looked in the mirror to make sure that they fit.
And they still got their
looked right,
money.
And they still got their money. And they didn't have to pay a commission. Well, I don't think they pay commissions on
No,
shoe
not
sizing.
on, yeah. But that's what I'm
But
saying.
there's
though.
a perfect example of what you're talking about where you still want the experience. I want to look in the mirror and see how they look on my foot. You can talk about virtual reality, but
That's what I'm saying. I think that's 10, 15 years down the line. I feel
the VR stuff?
like when it comes to that behavior, when it comes to that being that common, being every single closet in the United States has VR, and there's no such thing as mall millennium anymore. That's
They're building homes with VR.
right. That's what I'm
headsets in the
saying. That's
closet.
very far down the line
Sure.
because the behavior I think is still in its infancy. But I'm saying like for the next 5-10 years, I feel that experience is going to be more relevant, right? That, like, what I mean by that is, so I went into the Melissa shoe store in downtown Disney, well, Disney Springs now, and my kids tried on some shoes, and we actually ordered it and then got there the next day through the POS system they have, just like your experience.
Sure.
So they looked at it, my wife like felt, understood like colors, and figured out what she wants, and then the guys just say, okay, what size do you want? You want shipped to your house? Because obviously a lot of tourists are there.
No one wants to walk around with
no
the
one
shoes
wants to
in the
walk
park.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
park. So she's like, okay, this shipped to your house. Okay, you're good to go. And literally the next day they're at a house because we live 35 minutes away,
Right.
so it's not like forever, but that experience was still there. It just, the application of how the behavior and saving you time is what I think is going to evolve. It's not going to be every single store closes down. It's just the experience evolves.
Speaking of behavior, what do you think they're going to do with trying to remarket different products to you based on you're going in and buying like shampoo, do you think they're going to have some kind of system that's going to be able to know from the last time you bought something to this time and be able to serve you an ad or maybe a coupon to purchase? Be like, look, since the last time you bought this and the time before, we figured that maybe 3 weeks is good, and here's a coupon for 20%.
Well, yeah, because that's Amazon does that now. If you use their
Amazon Now
their
service.
Amazon Now service, they'll say, based on toilet paper consumption, you might be a little more frequent than others.
True.
That that it will say, hey, or you probably need to re-up, and it'll alert you.
Unless you're the guy that takes the 2-ply and undoes the whole thing and uses 1-ply twice.
Right, then, based on that, but...
Then they're wrong in their predictive analysis.
Correct. Yeah. Like I said, over it's you, it's every week that you're buying 8 rolls, whatever it is.
Right.
Well, I mean, they have those Amazon Now buttons, like for Tide and for...
Products, like any kind of product that your shampoo...
We're good.
Yeah, so like they have these, like, will those be obsolete, or will that tie in somehow with what they're doing now with Whole Foods? What do you think?
I think the experience might be, like, I would love where, like I said, this is just trying to innovate on the innovation, is, you ever go to a supermarket and forget something on your list?
Every time.
Think about if you actually made a list and you're walking through a Publix and you're about to leave and it dings, oh, you forgot your milk. Because it knows that what you have in your basket is not what's on your list. And it says, go to aisle 15, you forgot your milk. And then it knows. Or, hey, you know what's good with that? Here's a sale. And it actually lets you know sales that might be going on that you didn't know about that might be relative to what you're buying.
So they no longer need to put, I'm talking on Publix terms,
right.
They don't have to put their BOGOs in the front of the store. You're walking down the aisle and it just dings, and there's a BOGO to the right,
Correct.
and a BOGO to the left. But on a whole other topic, I mean, have you guys used Shipt?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard of Shipt?
I've heard of Shipt, yeah. It's like a grocery delivery service.
Yeah. So forget the grocery store and forget going into the store with this RFID technology and whatnot. But I order my groceries now to my front door. Well, I just started doing it 2 weeks ago.
That's what Amazon Now is.
Right, but does that combat what? I mean, I guess it doesn't combat. They're trying to give everybody what they want.
Or will they buy these Shipt?
Well, because they know that. For me, I think it's trying to figure out the experience, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think a lot of people still like to go in a grocery store because they need to see what they're
compare.
getting.
Yeah, I want to see my meat,
right?
You need to see. I need to see my meat.
You got to see your meat. I get it. Hey,
and the veg, these tomatoes, the melons, these are nice. Come on.
That's the part that I don't like is when if I want to pick out my steaks. If I order a couple ribeyes on this, I want to look at which one has the best marbling. Exactly. I'm going to be the best, person to determine that. Then what is cool is if they go to the store with this company Shipt, they connect you with an individual that's doing your shipping. Mm-hmm. Or picking up the groceries for you. And if the grocery's out, the particular item, they'll text you and say, hey, this is out. Would you like this instead? I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's for you, it's convenience. Obviously, for someone that's a little more price conscious, it might not make sense.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's serving everybody up what they want.
Correct. Yeah. So I think for like mid to upper class, that makes sense for someone that is very time crunched and it makes sense for them, right?
Are you calling me upper class?
Mid, upper class. I'm not going to put my hand in your pocket. You can figure that out.
You wear nice suits.
Yeah. You're very dapper.
You're very nice.
You're very dapper.
Yeah, look at his shoes.
They're not my best today.
But even like the common walking in, grabbing something, walking out, if you've ever been to a metropolitan area, that is going to be the most common thing, right? Going into convenience stores, going into CVS's, Walgreens, going into little mom and pop shops down the street that sell, sandwiches. Like, think if you just walk in, grab it, and leave because time is of the essence, especially like in New York or Philadelphia or something like that. That's how I see that working because for groceries, I think that has a space, but I also think that the convenience of walking in, not having to deal with the checkout, with the lack of customer service at some places, whatever it is, I think that saves time as well.
Oh my God, where's John?
John seemed to have left us.
Oh, that's disappointing. Let's continue.
All right.
So there's one other thing I wanted to bring up before we wrap up this conversation on Amazon, and that is their other patent that they filed last week. I believe they filed Amazon Go probably like
a year ago, I think.
Yeah, like last summer,
something like that.
Q3, Q4, something like that.
Did they make a big deal out of it, just by the way? 'Cause
Yeah.
I never heard anything about
Yeah,
it.
they
made a video.
They made a
for it
video.
and put
it
it
was
on
pretty cool.
Facebook, and it traveled everywhere because it was like for one store or something in another country. They were
I'll
testing
go check
it.
that out.
Yeah,
Sorry to
I think they
interrupt.
have a couple in New York. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I probably should research that. So last week they filed a patent for something called physical store online shopping control. And so what this is a technology that works into the Wi-Fi of a store like Publix or something. And so let's say you're going down Publix and you find something that you want to check the price on. So this technology would essentially allow users who are connected to a store's Wi-Fi, or rather disallow users from searching up competitive terms of brands and do comparison shopping while in store.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, one, who named that patent?
I was trying to do the acronyms for it, and I lost it.
Yeah, SPOSC. It's like I don't know, but yeah,
PSOC.
physical store online shopping control. That just sounds
Shopping
scary.
control just sounds like a very slippery
It should
slope.
just be called pain in the ass. Like, let me look up my stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you give an example that if I looked up Cheerios in Publix and I was trying to go on Walmart, it would actually not. It wouldn't block it. It would basically perhaps give me a discount to price compare.
That's actually part of the technology. So
That's
while
cool.
it does,
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a little different.
yeah, while it does prevent you from doing that comparison shopping, what it will allow is retailers, and this kind of places the ownership and authority on the retailers to do this and to set it up. But if you are trying to do comparison shopping, it's going to feed suggestions to you, or it might even feed a coupon to you. Like, hey, you notice that you're trying to look up Cheerios at Walmart, you cheap fuck. So why don't you take 10% off and
Well, that's the thing. They do price match anyway,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of stores actually price match. They don't really
and
tell
I'm
you that.
sure they're at the register going like this.
Right.
Yeah.
People are already like, look, see, at Best Buy actually price matches. So if you ever go to Best Buy, just go to Amazon because that's actually one of their price matching competitors, and say, like, I do this for ink all the time when I have to buy anything and I have to get it right away. So I go to Best Buy and I buy the ink and I show them, and it's like $7 cheaper all the time.
Shit, I just bought something off BestBuy.com last night.
Yeah, and I'm like, here's the price. And they're like, okay, and they change the price and they give it to me. So this just allows me, I guess, from a digital aspect, not to have to do all that, and it automatically prices it down.
Not necessarily. I don't think it works exactly like
I
that.
think it could, though,
could.
when Amazon Go gets more involved, because now everything's on your phone, so it's charging to your phone, and then if it knows that you're looking up something else, it could just automatically deduct that to the compared price.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about it is, to me, it's like, who does this benefit the most? Brick and mortar stores. Who suffers the most from this? Retailers
Competitors.
like Amazon.
I don't think they do, because, to be honest,
Well, just think of it this way. So the easiest route for me as a consumer right now is like, so not really necessarily relates to grocery shopping, but let's say I'm at Best Buy and I'm looking at digital cameras or something like that. I'm doing comparison shopping, and essentially, like, I'll look up online and they'll show me all the
Comparable.
price comparisons, and usually 9 times out of 10, Amazon is at the top of that list. And if they don't have the best price, then it is free shipping on Prime.
Right.
So I can kind of just go like, oh well, I'm just gonna get it on Amazon. So it's interesting because it's kind of like actually kind of cuts into Amazon now. a little
not
bit.
as much, because the word patent.
True.
So any retailer, again, uses this technology, they're putting money back in Amazon's pocket anyway. So they're like, it's going to happen regardless. Like, someone's going to figure that out. It might as well be us, so we get more money out of it than someone else figuring it out, and then we get no dollars from it, and it hurts Amazon.com, right?
I think the underlining message of everything we're saying is that everything's changing, and it's changing drastically and dynamically, and it's very important for us as people who look out for the best interests of the marketability of our clients and the way that they conduct their business to stay ahead of the curve, learn all of these things, because for every business owner and every brand, they're going to have a different initiative, and we want to have all the digital offerings to combat these things that challenge the business owners, but also help give competitive advantages, and that's what we do. So this stuff is super, super exciting for us staying ahead of these and learning this stuff first so we can educate our clients, but then also continue to learn, continue to look for the next thing, and then find out a solution, because we are problem solvers. And while these may not be problems, the new technology creates problems all the time. They are solutions that also create problems. So I think it's awesome that how this relates to our business. It's fun. It's fun to talk about.
It's a good time to be alive. What a time.
What a time to be alive.
So I guess the question for the viewer is, looking at Amazon Go, looking at their new patent they have, looking at just the influx of disruption in every industry, do you feel this is going to be a negative or positive effect on, say, your shopping experience when it comes to retail, when it comes to your grocery? Do you even like the idea of Amazon Go, of retailers shutting down and maybe changing their experience to be more inward in your house rather than external, when you have to, be more involved with society? Like, what is your take on it? I'm just very interested to know.
And just add one more thing onto it. Putting all that aside with the technology that's out there, how do you like to shop? Do you like the experience? Do you like the convenience? What is most important to you?